Hey everyone, I'm here with Supermodels Unlimited. I'm Sarah, and this is Sarah Rose Summers, Miss USA.
Hello.
So, got a couple questions for you today. So, you have been traveling, all over, and you live here in New York City. Mm-hmm. What's been your favorite thing so far with this year?
Ooh, in New York or just as Miss USA?
As Miss USA.
Let me think. Media Week was amazing. That was my first week. And lots of interviews. I mean, I was doing phone interviews with people back in Nebraska, in between interviews here in New York. But my favorite part so far, I went to Boston with Best Buddies. Are you familiar with the organization? Okay, so we went for their 100-mile bike race up in Boston, from Boston to Cape Cod. And I've never been to Massachusetts. I loved the city. From the time I landed in the airplane, staring out the window, it was beautiful. But I worked in children's hospitals before all of this, and so I love getting down and having relationships and talking to people and engaging, and that's what we get to do with Best Buddies. And so I loved the location, and I loved getting to interact and be active.
It's awesome. Yeah. So, this pageant has obviously given you so many opportunities. What do you have to say to anyone who has ever, hated on beauty pageants or said that, they're not the best thing for women?
There are a lot of misconceptions. People, I feel like, either love pageantry or they don't love it. And in the world that we're living in right now with the Me Too movement, we're supposed to be supporting women in whatever they decide to do. And it's our choice to compete in these types of things. I think that that's what we're supposed to focus on right now, is we get to choose what we do. I have friends who choose to play volleyball in college. Power to them. I chose this route, and it's something I'm passionate about, and you can get so much out of it. You can learn interview skills before entering the workforce. You can learn poise and grace, and it's just an amazing opportunity to learn how to speak your voice and speak out about causes you're passionate about. There's so much to gain from it. So I say nay to the naysayers.
Absolutely. So I know you probably received a lot of advice going into the Miss USA competition. What's a piece of advice that you personally found the most useful, and what's something that you would tell girls competing for Miss USA in the future?
Going into it, I don't have a specific moment of one person that told me this. It's just over time. You learn it on your own, and my father told me it. I had coaches, all of those things.
Right.
Just say be yourself, and it sounds so cliche, but prep to the best of your ability, and then when the time comes, whatever's going to happen is meant to happen.
Absolutely.
And so when you're in an interview or even on stage, if you get asked a question and you don't know, because you prepped to the best of your ability, you've watched the news, you've talked about current events, you feel aware and knowledgeable. If you get asked, you're a human, you can just say, I don't know, actually, I'll look it up later, and then actually do it. Actually look it up. It'll be good for you. So that's my best advice, is just to not take yourself too seriously. You're just chatting with a friend. So.
Yeah. So we were there in Shreveport when you were crowned, and I have to say you were glowing that night.
Thank you.
So can you kind of give us a play-by-play of what was going through your head during crowning?
Through crowning? No, I can't. I honestly feel like it was just an emotional blur after they said Nebraska. But since you were there, you were able to see Kaylin and I, Miss North Carolina, are great friends, and we just clicked from the beginning. And she's already visited New York twice, and we talked on the phone for over an hour yesterday, and we said, oh my gosh, it's been an hour, because my family might be watching this and they'll be like, she hasn't even talked to me for an hour. Sorry guys, I love you. But I just had been so busy, and so the top two moment was just so surreal, and I remember every moment of it. They drag on after they announced the third runner-up, Carolina, love her so much. Nevada and Nebraska are right next to each other, so I got to know her pretty well, which was special. So the top five I was all really close with. But then it's down to the top two, and it feels like they just drag it on forever. They're like, this is what they do, and blah blah. And so I remember that, and we were giggling about it. We hugged, and we said, whoever wins this thing, we're gonna visit the next one. And that's like a dream come true, to be the top two and know that either way you're going to be happy.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome.
But then when they said Nebraska, I was gone.
So, as Miss USA, you work with a lot of different charities and causes throughout the year. What do you think has been your favorite to give back to?
Ooh, well, before all of this, I'm a certified child life specialist. So I work in children's hospitals. Are you familiar with my career path?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay, so I work as the liaison, the mediator between the children and families and the medical team in a hospital setting. So child life specialists wear a ton of hats, and it really depends on your unit. You could help with grief support. You could help with procedure support, education, encouraging normalcy into the hospital setting. So that's obviously something that I'm very passionate about it in order to have chosen that as my career. So any sort of organization this year that involves children, I'm really passionate about. So I have already worked with Project Sunshine, bringing joy to a child in the children's hospital setting and her family. That was amazing. I loved that. So I'm just excited to do things like that this year, the most. I'm really excited to do it all, but we'll see. And then Smile Train works to bring awareness and surgeries to those in need for cleft lips and cleft palates.
Gotcha.
Are you familiar with that one? Mm-hmm. And I met with them, and I haven't worked with them yet. I'm so excited because, in children's hospitals, I help prep for procedures and support during the non-sedated ones. So I'm really excited to utilize my skills from my career as Miss USA in those types of settings. So we'll see where I can go with them.
That's fantastic. So, as Miss USA, you have so many young girls looking up to you at home. Is there someone that you really look up to the most that's your role model?
Oh, so I have so many. And it really is a team effort. But my one person that really has spoken to me and comes to mind first is my supervisor during my clinical rotations in Oklahoma City. It was some of the hardest times for me. I dealt with my first patient death, really hard things. That's good as a student to experience, especially when you have a supervisor there. But we were two peas in a pod. She taught Pilates. She had faith. We were just really vibed, and it was perfect. She always encouraged me when I needed it, pushed me when I was a little scared to go out and prep a kid for the first time without her support. And so she really helped me be independent in my career.
Yeah. So what do you think the biggest problem facing young women is today?
Hands down, comparison. In the world that we live in with social media, it's such a powerful tool to connect with people. I get to follow all 50 of my USA sisters on social media and see what's going on in their life, which is amazing. I also have family friends out of the country, and that's one way to keep up with what they have going on. And but if you find yourself scrolling over and over again through the same photos, or if you follow people that you see it and you feel, oh, I'm better than that, or oh, she makes me feel insecure, unfollow them. Well, I don't know why our generation and girls younger than us do this type of stuff. I spoke as Miss Nebraska USA to a sorority, so that's college-age young women, and at the end of my presentation I said, tonight I challenge you to go through everyone you follow, and if you feel either superior or inferior, unfollow them. And it was like a light bulb went off in all of their heads, like, that's a good idea.
That is a really good idea.
It's so silly. Why wouldn't we do that, right?
Yeah. So this outfit is stunning.
Thank you.
So do you have like a favorite fashion icon or a favorite designer?
Not really. I love keeping it classy, but also going toward the trends. And as Miss USA, that's been really fun. New York City has amazing shopping. Nebraska, not so much. I did a lot of online boutique stuff, but I'm just excited about it all. I think it's fun.
Yeah. So keeping on, the fashion and beauty, what's your biggest beauty tip?
Oh, exfoliate, take care of your skin, because you have to have a good clean slate and feel confident. Most of the time when I'm rocking around here, I don't even have anything on unless I'm doing an interview as Miss USA or something as Miss USA. But as Sarah Rose, I just take care of my skin. I always take care of it before I go to sleep. I never sleep in your makeup, guys. Don't do it. That's my biggest tip. And then that way you can feel confident walking around too with nothing on.
Yeah. So, you say you do a lot of things with Miss USA, and I know your schedule is crazy busy. How do you kind of keep up and not get caught up in all of what's going on? How do you stay grounded?
Oh, absolutely. I think my family does an amazing job of keeping me humble, and that was what my dad said when he sent me off to the airport that next morning after I won, was keep your feet steady on the ground and stay humble.
Yeah.
You have the realizations that I've looked up to these Miss USAs for years, and now I'm sleeping in the same room as them, and I wake up some days and I'm like, my hair is just not doing what I want it to.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a humility check.
Yeah.
You know, I used to always think that, oh, they've got it all together. You know, we're just people. Like I said about answering your questions, if you don't know, you don't know. We're all just people.
Mm-hmm.
So that helps me stay grounded.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So what was your favorite category of competition when you were competing in Miss USA?
Interview? Absolutely, because I get to chat like this. And if you guys can't tell, I've got quite a vibrant personality, and I could talk to a wall. So I love interview for that reason, but also it's an opportunity to tell the judges why you should have this job, and the selection committee just express to them the things that you're passionate about and what you plan to do with the year if you're chosen. And little did I did not expect, then they chose me. So I love interview. I mean, the rest is really fun, but that's what I feel the most comfortable in.
Yeah. So you've obviously been very successful as Miss USA.
Thank you.
And
it's been so short.
Yeah.
Why do you say that? What makes you say that?
How do you think, when your year's over, how are you going to know that you've made the most of your year? What's something that you feel you really need to accomplish in order to have a successful year as Miss USA?
I'm all about goal setting. I currently just sat down and I wrote my 1 year, my 5 year, and my 10-year goals in different categories: personal, health, and career. And I've done that for this year. I've made a bucket list, so it was more of a fun goal setting, not an official sit down. But I've made a list of everything from living it up in New York City and visiting the Statue of Liberty as Miss USA to seeing all 10 Seacrest studios. As a child life specialist, we utilize Seacrest studios. Those are radio studios within children's hospitals, and I've used it for children writing their own songs and then going down and recording them. It's very therapeutic, and for a multitude of other reasons too. They make their own talk shows. It just brings normalcy and play to the hospital setting that's otherwise not there. And I have already visited one as Miss USA, and there's only 10 in the country right now. They're celebrating their 3rd birthday soon, so it's one of my goals to visit all 10 and just bring joy to those kids and their families that can't leave.
That's awesome. So actually, I was getting ready to ask this. You mentioned that you have a bucket list. So what's one thing that you haven't crossed off your bucket list yet that you need to?
I mean, I need to cross them all off, you guys. One, I really want to go to the CMAs.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's something I've dreamt of since I was a little girl. I love country music, and I was convinced that I was going to go to some big anniversary for them for my birthday one year, because my birthday's in November. So that was my big lofty one. I also still haven't checked off side street pizza. So we'll see. I want to do it all.
That's awesome. So I'm sure you've learned a lot of things being Miss USA. What's been the biggest life lesson that you've learned out of this experience?
Ooh, already the biggest life lesson. Just to soak up every day. If I don't have volunteering as Miss USA, I can, on my own, send my team, the amazing team at Miss Universe, these are some things coming up that I'm really passionate about and I want to try to do. What can I do as Sarah Rose to make sure that I can make the most out of these 365 days? Because you do only have that.
Yeah.
And that goes for life in general, you guys. Making those goals, like I talked about, the 1 year, the 5 year, and the 10, and then figure out from that what strategies are going to get you there. Because writing them down is great, and sharing them with other people is going to hold you accountable. But you also have to make the strategies and the strides to actually work toward them. And so doing that always, and being willing to be flexible. Oh, that's what I should have said first, you guys. In college, I was so busy. I worked as a Pilates instructor. I was a full-time student. I did my clinical rotations part-time, and I worked at Lululemon. So I had a lot going on. I had my planner down to the 30-minute increments. And now as Miss USA, I'm way more go with the flow. I have an amazing team that takes care of those types of things for me. And that's still an adjustment. It's amazing. It's so surreal to be here. So being flexible. It doesn't always have to go perfectly your way.
Right. So, you're living it up here in New York City, Miss USA, and there's one thing that you haven't done yet, and you haven't competed for Miss Universe yet.
No, hasn't happened.
So, what's one thing that you're really focusing on training for Miss Universe?
I can tell you one thing I'm really excited about. I'm so excited to form relationships with these women throughout the whole world. I mean, we have the division in our own country and across the world, and it's such a unifying experience. Think about it. Around 90 women from across the world, different cultures, different languages, different beliefs, different life experiences.
Yeah.
They get to come together, and we get to form relationships and learn from each other.
Yeah.
That's, I can't express how amazing that is.
Yeah, it's
and
really...
so many people don't see that opportunity. So I just really wanted to stress that. I'm honored to be one of those women. It's huge. But as far as training, again, just staying aware of what's going on in the world and discussing it with friends and family in order to form my own opinion. And of course, I'm eating healthy and doing my fun workouts. I love working out. It's one way that I fill my cup.
Yeah. So how did you get started in pageantry?
When I was 10 years old, I got a postcard in the mail. Period. In this story. I got a postcard and I said, "Oh, Mom, I want to do this." She said, "Ask your dad." Dad said, "Okay." And they thought I would forget about it. I was very shy, but I was a dancer. So that's what sparked my interest. In the postcard, it looked like everybody was having so much fun. And anyway, I competed. I didn't place, but I had a ball. I held my dress and stared at the ground the whole time. I gained confidence, I gained friends, and then from there on, it was just fun, and it became my goal to one day compete at Miss USA as Nebraska.
Yeah.
Just even being on the Miss USA stage was my goal.
That's awesome.
Now here we are.
So you've been in pageantry for a while then. What do you think is one of the qualities that you have that has led you to be so successful in pageantry?
You're so kind. Just being my authentic self. I have depth. I have 2 degrees in 4 years from TCU, and I graduated cum laude. So I work really hard. I'm a hard worker, and goal setting is huge in that. Knowing your end goals, and it's just so important. We have that substance and just the desire to make a difference.
Yeah.
And I think all of us do. That's why we do this.
Yeah. So you mentioned earlier you have, your 1, your 5, and your 10-year plan.
Yeah.
So what's one of your goals for after this is all over? What's next for you?
I am so open to whatever doors come. I'm really excited for what that could look like. I'm very grateful that that's a conversation that's already happening in the Miss Universe office. They're so great at helping me realize that this is an amazing year, but what are you going to do a year from now? Utilize these opportunities to figure that out, and I'm still kind of figuring it out. It hasn't even been 2 months yet, so I have a lot of ideas, and I'm just excited for the future.
Yeah. So you're from Nebraska. How has it been moving from Nebraska in the Midwest to New York City?
I'm loving it. I was talking to someone the other day. I moved to Dallas-Fort Worth area for college, and I think that was all in the plan because it was a good transition from Nebraska to a city and then to New York. I mean, New York is still huge, but I remember the first time I drove in Dallas, I pulled over because I couldn't cross 4 lanes of traffic. We don't have that in Nebraska, and cried and told my dad to take my car back to Nebraska. So I grew through that experience. You learn how to do it, and just like here, I'm learning how to take the subway, and I'm just thriving. I love it here. I haven't done a winter yet though, but it's cold in Nebraska, so.
Yeah, it's cold in Illinois too.
Exactly.
So how has it been getting to be roommates with Miss Universe?
Oh, Demi is truly just the sweetest soul through and through. She's so delicate and so kind and so willing to do anything for others, but she's also gone all the time. So it's a little taste of, for me to watch firsthand how busy the job of Miss Universe is. Not only that, but the amazing opportunities that she's getting.
Yeah.
She's been to Paris, Ecuador, South Africa, other places, Vegas.
All over.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But when she's home, we have a ball.
So, what's been your biggest, like, motivation factor, first in preparing for Miss USA and now for Miss Universe? What's really that one thing that you have on your wall that, you know, I have to, this is what I'm in this for?
A multitude of things. I think if I were to think of a motivating woman that I've seen, I mean the moms that sit bedside with their children and they leave the rest of their family at home and they're working so hard on their laptop to support their child.
Yeah.
That's huge to me. I want to be able to make a difference and encourage those type of people that are working so hard and say, you know, I see this, you're doing this, and applaud to you. But other than that, this year, I just want to take the opportunity to encourage everyone and stressing the misconceptions of pageantry. I want to squash them all.
Yeah. So I have one more serious question for you, and then we'll move on to some fun ones. So what do you think, you know, I've asked you a lot. Is there something, do you have a message that you really need to get through to people? You know, what's your motto in all of this?
I mean, I know I already addressed not comparing yourself and going through and having a social media cleanse if you need it, but surround yourself by uplifting people and pour back toward them what you're getting. And just make sure they know you love them and you appreciate them. But another message that I'm really hoping to get out this year is I found my career path through volunteering. And a lot of times people say, oh, I've never heard of child life. You guys, I get it all the time. That's why I have to describe it all the time. There are so many jobs out there that people have never even heard of. And you could find that. You could find where your heart is. One of my favorite questions to ask at a dinner or a brunch or something with friends, we try to not be on our phones, so I encourage that too, is where's your heart service-wise? Like, if you got to go volunteer today, where would you go? And it's an amazing conversation starter. You get to see why they're passionate about what they're passionate about. I did this on Sunday with a friend, and I had no idea she was about to talk to me about pollution. I had no clue. And she can make such a difference with that, where I can in children's hospitals and speaking to young girls across the nation. So
that's awesome.
Find your thing and then do it because it matters.
That's an amazing message.
Thanks.
So now we have some fun facts. So what is your favorite movie? There's a lot.
Most recent is The Greatest Showman. Oh,
I love
I work
that.
out to that music.
Oh, that's like my favorite movie.
Yeah, it's amazing.
What would be your favorite song?
Crazy Dreams by Carrie Underwood. It's pretty old, but I can still jam out to it.
Yeah. What is your dream vacation destination?
I have so many. I've always wanted to go to Australia. Always. I want to hit every continent. So I got a lot of traveling to do.
Yeah. What is your go-to snack?
I have so many. I'm snacking all the time. Sometimes it's mini cucumbers if I'm being really good. And I love cherry tomatoes. I always have since I was a little girl. So those are healthy go-tos for me. I also love really easy bars. I'm traveling a lot, like we already addressed, and so just easy things like that.
Yeah. Who is your favorite past Miss USA title holder?
Oh, I can't answer that. They're all my sisters now. Oh my gosh, I don't like that one.
Tricked you. What's your favorite color?
Yellow. It's so happy, and I just so happen to be wearing it right now.
Who is your celebrity crush?
I don't have one. It's so funny. People ask me this, but right now I'm going to say Ryan Seacrest. And although he might not be like the world's sexiest man cover, what he's doing with his fame and forming his Seacrest Foundation and then making these Seacrest studios, I appreciate it, Ryan. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with him.
So my family is like huge sports fans. My dad is a huge Nebraska fan. So
But living in Illinois?
Yeah.
Have you been to Memorial Stadium?
I haven't yet. No. But do you have a favorite sports team or a favorite sport in general?
Football, hands down. But I was born and raised going to Husker games, bleed Husker red. It's one of my goals this year. It's on the bucket list that I've already told the team that I would love to go back. I've made it back to one Husker game a year, even all 4 years of college. It's a family affair. It's what we love.
Yeah.
And then when I was in college in Texas, obviously go Frogs, but I worked for the Dallas Cowboys on their promotion team, so football.
Yeah, me too. So as Miss USA, you've worked with a lot of different hair and makeup artists. What has been your favorite way to wear your hair? What's your go-to hairstyle?
Go-to straight center, just like I competed. Other than that, you're going to see me with my hair up. I'm on the go a lot. It's easy. It's fresh. It's real life. You'll see me curl it sometimes if I'm feeling fun and flirty.
Up, and that's how I like mine, up and out of the way. So what do you think your favorite social media app would be?
Instagram. I think it's a great way. Photography is such a powerful tool to show a message, to portray a story. So that's my favorite way so far that I've been keeping track of my year in addition to journaling and all of that.
Yeah, it's like your own little diary.
And we talked earlier about all the negatives of comparison, but it can be used to encourage others. You can see me post some sort of encouragement on my story every day, some sort of quote. So look out for those.
Yeah. Do you think you would prefer heels or flats?
It depends on the day. It totally depends, and it depends on the outfit. But on the go here in New York City, it's a walking city, so you'll see me in cute tennies or something like that, going to work out or running around.
So I'm an old soul. I was definitely meant for the 80s.
Okay.
What would be your favorite decade?
Maybe the 80s or the 70s. You guys, I did an amazing fun shoot with the New York Post, and I did the pinups, and that was a blast. I felt like I was meant to be there. But I also love huge wide leg pants and rocking that look. So I don't know. I'm just grateful that we live right now where all of that stuff is coming back. So we can do it anyway.
So I live on a farm, and I have dogs, and then of course we have barn cats. So are you a dog or a cat person?
I would say a dog person. And if my roommate's watching this, I lived with her forever. She's one of my best friends. She's going to laugh and roll her eyes because I always told her we couldn't get a dog. Because we lived in an apartment in college. That's just mean to the dog because I'm from Nebraska. Just like you're describing, you have farmland. We have a backyard for the dog to love and run around. And my niece is a dog. My brother and my sister-in-law have a dog, Coco. She's gotten really large. I prefer little dogs, so she kind of scares me sometimes because she doesn't recognize me anymore.
That's cute. So I don't know. I cannot tell you how many idols I had as a kid growing up. Who was the heartthrob that you had posters of in your room growing up?
Oh, Carrie Underwood. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Hands down. I love that she speaks her truth, and now it would probably be Candace Cameron Bure. She speaks about her struggles with eating disorders. She speaks her truth when she was on The View and her opinions just openly, and was willing to listen to others and theirs, whether that's Hot Topics, what's going on in the world, and Full House.
Yeah.
Come on, guys. Who doesn't love Full House?
Yeah.
I feel old now. Did you watch Full House?
I did.
Okay, good.
Yeah, definitely. So when I was little, I went from wanting to be a airplane pilot to a lifeguard to a farmer. What was your childhood dream?
I had a ton. I wanted to be on Broadway because I was in show choir and dance team, and I was the leader of my soprano 2 section in choir. Wanted to be on Broadway. I also wanted to be an interior designer. I don't even know where I got that from. That's not my forte. I wanted to be broadcast journalism. That was initially my first degree. And then I changed it to strategic communications to be more on the other side of things.
Gotcha. I say you're always glammed up, and you are naturally stunning. Do you prefer...
So sweet.
Thank you. Do you prefer being all glammed up, or do you prefer a more natural look?
I love a natural, fresh look, and right now I'm loving the dewy, glowing sparkle effect that is stunning. I don't know how to do it so great, but other people can to me, which is awesome, and I love natural. Like I said, you're most likely going to see me with nothing, but if I do have something on, that'll be more of what it is, like I am today.
Yeah. Speaking of natural beauty, what would you say your favorite, like, skincare or your favorite makeup product is? What's your go-to that you, like, always have with you?
I have a little exfoliator that's about the size of my palm, and it's pink, so that's fun. And I use that thing, you guys, religiously. Every single night before I go to bed. It's kind of gross. You can take your makeup off with a wipe or a face wash or whatever you use, and then I promise you, if you put more face wash on this little exfoliator, it's gonna be whatever color your makeup was. It's really unfortunate.
Yeah.
So I'm very passionate about that, and I'll use it until there's no residue showing up anymore. So that's my go-to to keep your skin healthy and clear.
Gotcha. So what would you say your favorite cheat meal is? I know you have one.
I have so many. The girl loves her pasta, but I'm a huge sweet tooth.
Same.
Huge sweet tooth over savory. Cheesecake, ice cream.
Ice cream.
I just had macaroons for the first time.
Really?
So good.
Oh, I love macaroons.
Oh, it was amazing. So my favorite thing is Halo Top ice cream because it's not a cheat meal because it's protein ice cream. Anyway. So you don't have to view it as that. You can give yourself a little treat instead of a cheat.
Yeah. So, you're crazy busy all day long. How do you unwind after every day?
It kind of depends. I know I said working out really fills my cup. It releases those happy endorphins. Sometimes I'll call and talk to my family, catch up with them, and that also brings me back down to earth.
Yeah.
Sleep. Sometimes I'm just so exhausted. I just go to sleep. It looks different every day. Sometimes I'm excited to go do an intense workout like boxing, and just if it was a get out any aggression type of day, which that hasn't happened in the last 2 months. This has been a dream. Or sometimes you just want to sit down and you want to watch The Bachelorette and eat some Halo Top ice cream.
I love The Bachelorette. Oh.
So it can be different every day.
So I have one more question for you. So I would love to live in New York City. I mean, this is like the dream come true. And I cannot imagine how it, being able to live here for a year. What's been your favorite thing about living in New York City?
Here right now.
I know.
There's always something to do. I have had friends, my mom come visit me, and I've been able to take them every weekend to do different things. I've been able to do different things. There's conferences here all the time. There's community here. You can explore. I was told that you can eat at a different place for all 3 meals of the day for a whole year and still not go to every restaurant in just Manhattan. I've not fact-checked that, but
that's crazy.
There's just so much to do, and I love fitness as a Pilates instructor. Tons of little fitness boutiques, so I have endless things that you would love about it here. Yeah. Endless.
I'm going to get a list from you, because I have stuff I need to do.
I have on my notes in my phone, if I pass something that I think looks cool, I'm jotting it down. And I have a workout section, a food section, and a things section.
I need that list.
Okay.
So I thank you for being with me today.
Thank you,
You
Sarah.
are stunning, and I wish you the best of luck with your reign and at Miss Universe. So thank you all for watching today. And I'm Sarah. This is Sarah Rose.
Sarah Rose. Follow us on our journeys.